Hello P6, it's time for us to think about Wednesday's maths lessons. Now, today we're going to start, just like we've done for the last 2 days, with our Numeracy Ninja. And it's time for you to choose your level of challenge. Will you choose the higher level challenge? In the higher level challenge, you're choosing to multiply and divide by all the tables from 2 up to 12. Or will you choose to do the lower level challenge, which today focuses only on the 4 times table? If you find your tables harder, focus on the lower level and try and really build up your knowledge of your multiplication and your division facts. They are so important, P6. So for our warm-up today, we're going to start with our Numeracy Ninja. Then we are going today to be thinking once again about area. Now let's take a moment to think about some of the things we've already looked at so far over the last couple of weeks. We have thought about area being the amount of surface that's covered by a shape. So if I am looking at a shape like this rectangle, I am asking myself, how much surface does it cover? And we know that area is measured in squares. Those might be centimetre squares, metre squares, millimetre squares, kilometre squares. It depends on the object that we're measuring. Now, if I was given a rectangle like this one that measures 11 centimetres by 5 centimetres, and I want to find its area, well, as we learned last half term, to find the area of a square or rectangle, the best thing to do is multiply the length by the breadth. So if I take my 11 and my 5 and I multiply them together, 11 times 5 is 55 centimetres squared. 55 is 11 times 5. Centimetres, because I'm measuring in centimetres, and I measure area in squares, so I put the little 2 up high. Now P6, to go over some of that, what I would like you to do this morning, once you've done your Numeracy Ninja, I'd like you to go to Education City and I'd like you to go and play 2 different games. The first one is called Home Improvements and the second one is called Area Adventure. Go and have a go at those and they will help you revise what we've already looked at. But once you've had a go at those, today we're going to be thinking about something called compound area. Now, a compound shape is a shape that's made up of more than one shape, and those shapes have been pushed together to make one bigger shape. For example, in this one, if I look at this shape, it's not a simple rectangle or a square, but it's been made up of more than one shape that has been pushed together. So this is what's called a compound shape. Now, to find its area, I can't just multiply 2 of the numbers together. What I need to do is break it back down into smaller shapes. So if I take this shape, I am going to break it back down into 2 rectangles or 2 squares or one of each. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my ruler and my pen and I'm going to break this shape there. So I'm going to have this rectangle and then this square, and I'm going to find out the area of each one of them. So if I start over here with this rectangle measures 10 centimetres by 4 centimetres. So to find its area, I need to multiply those 2 numbers together. What's 4 times 10, P6? 4 times 10 is, 40. So the area of that rectangle would be 40 centimetres squared. What about the area of this section? If it's 5 centimetres by 5 centimetres, 5 times 5 is, that's going to be 25 centimetres squared because we've just done 5 times 5. Now, we've got the 2 separate areas. Now I need to calculate the area of the compound shape. So what I now need to do is take my 2 answers and I need to add them together. Now lots of you will be able to do it in your head, but if you got a more complicated question, then you could always write it out as a vertical calculation. You could write it out that way. What is 40 add 25? Well, 40 add 25, is going to be 65. So what is the area of this compound shape? The area of this compound shape is going to be 65 centimetres squared. Let's have a look at another one. So let's take this rectangle two rectangles, in fact, that have been pushed together to make this compound shape, can we find out the area of this one? So again, I'm going to take my ruler and I'm going to split my shape into two sections. So I've got a rectangle here that's 6 centimetres by 7 centimetres, and I've got another rectangle that's 3 centimetres by 8 centimetres. So let's start with this one. 6 times 7 is the question I'm asking myself. And what's 6 times 7? Yep. So the area of that section is going to be 42 centimetres squared. Tell somebody at home, what's the area of this section going to be if it's 3 centimetres by 8 centimetres? 3 times 8 is, yep, 24 centimetres squared, because we've just done 3 times 8, which is 24. Now, I need to add my two answers together. So I've got 42 and I've got 24. Tell somebody at home, what do you get when you add 42 and 24? Add your tens, 40, add 20, add 2, add 4. So what's the final area going to be? The area is going to be, 66 centimetres squared. Let's have a go at this one. So in this shape, how will I split this shape up? Well, I can see I've got 4 centimetres, and then this bit going down is 12, and then I've got 8 by 8. So I think I will split this shape here. So I've got my rectangle here, and then this one's going to be a square, isn't it? Because it's 8 by 8. So what's 8 times 8? P6. 8 times 8 is, it's going to be 64 centimetres squared. 8 eighths are 64. What's 12 times 4? 12 times 4 is, 48. Now, can you add those together? So 48 add 64. Well, if you add your tens, 4 tens and 6 tens, 10 tens, that's 100. Add 8, add another 4. What are you going to get when you add all of that together? You're going to get a final answer of, 112 centimetres squared. Now, in the next shape, I'm not going to do my dividing line as being a vertical line going down. Sometimes it's going to be a horizontal line. And the only way to work out whether it's a horizontal line or a vertical line is to look very carefully at the measurements that you've been given. But in this one, I can see that there's a bottom rectangle that's 13 by 5, and then a top rectangle that's 4 by 16. So I'm going to divide this one horizontally. Now, if the numbers are starting to get a bit bigger for your multiplying, you might want to write out your multiplying question as a vertical one. So 16 times 4. Now, some of you will be able to do that straight away in your head, but if you find it harder, write it out like that. So 4 times 6 is 24. 4 times 1 is 4. Add 2, 64. So the area of this bit, that's 16 times 4, is going to be 64 centimetres squared. Can you work out this one? 13 times 5. Well, you might do it in your head. You might do 10 groups of 5. So you might say 10 times 5, that's going to be 50. 3 times 5, 15. Add them together. What's the area of this section going to be? It's going to be 65 centimetres squared. Can you then add the two together, P6? I'm sure you can. So add your tens, 6 tens and 6 tens, so 12 tens, so that's going to be 120. Add 4, add 5. What's my final area going to be? 129 centimetres squared. Now P6, for your written activity today, you're going to choose one of 2 levels. If you choose to do the higher level activity, then your higher level activity looks like this. And to start off with, I have already split your shapes up into 2 or more separate rectangles. So what you need to do is work out the area of each part. You've got plenty of space around it to do your working out. So work out the area of each section and then don't forget to add them together. Now for your final questions, I've made it a little bit harder because I haven't already split up number 8 and number 9. So what you need to do is you need to decide how you will split the compound shape. Will you do a vertical line to divide them? So will you cut them vertically, or will you do it horizontally like in number 7? The choice is yours. You split it up into 2 separate parts and then you can work out the area of each part. So that's the higher level task. If you choose to do the lower level task, then your worksheet looks like this and you've got 10 questions to look at. In each one of yours, it's already split up into its separate parts. And to help you out, there's a space to write your answers for each part because they're all labelled A or B. When you get onto the second page, you'll see that some of your shapes have been split into 3 separate parts. So at the end, you'll have 3 parts to add together. So your main activity today, P6, is to do with finding the area of our compound shapes. Once you've finished with finding the area of our compound shapes, then you've still got 2 final activities to have a go at today. The first one is today's reasoning challenge. And in today's reasoning challenge, we are thinking again about area and also about perimeter. So have a go at those challenges. And then to finish off, why not spend a little bit more time thinking about decimals? We'll be going back to decimals again tomorrow. And for your decimal challenge, we're going to play a game that we played 2 weeks ago called Coconut Ordering, in which you have to put your decimals into the correct order. Have a really lovely day today, P6. Bye.